Did you know March is Kidney Awareness Month? I'm Samantha Rojas with a touching kidney donation story.
Food insecurity is a major issue in some areas. I'm Tiara Medley with what a local organization is doing to help be the solution and what you can do as well.
More than 800 volunteers are coming together here to pack meals for families in Ukraine and around the world. I'm Trent Croce with how members of Toledo and the community are coming together to help.
Your news in 10 minutes starts now. It's now reached the 6th week since Russia invaded Ukraine. While there have been reports of Russia taking steps to de-escalate the conflicts, heavy fighting outside major Ukrainian cities shows otherwise.
According to AP News, among the thousands of casualties, 4 million refugees have now fled Ukraine, leaving many families still in need of aid, shelter, and food. This as Toledo's Clark Leadership Academy gears up for its annual food packing event this weekend to feed the hungry. A director says with the tragic events continuing throughout Ukraine and Eastern Europe, the need for support this year is especially important. Since 2015, Toledo's Clark Leadership Academy has organized annual meal packing events to assist families in need. And while it took a break last year, Clark's co-director, Dr. Robert Yonker, is happy to be back.
We didn't do it last year because of COVID, unfortunately. But we're really excited this year we're going to be able to do it even without masks.
While it goes to help many countries like Haiti, the need in Ukraine right now is urgent, prompting many in the community to help at the Health Education Building.
We're doing this. It's going to feed about 450 children for a year. We are going to have 800 volunteers coming into campus. We have 5 packing sessions.
And before the event even begun here at the Health Education Building, results exceeded expectations.
Fortunately, we have all 5 packing sessions full. Not only campus community, but the Toledo community has come out and really showed up, and we appreciate them and we thank them.
During the packing sessions, volunteers will split up into groups where they will assemble nutritious rice meals with vegetable blends, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. And according to the Feed My Starving Children program, these meals are scientifically formulated for the undernourished children and are funded by the donations. Although the packing sessions are full, there are still other ways to help this weekend.
Bowling Green could use your help. So believe it or not, we can help out our rival.
And if you cannot volunteer in person, you can still donate to Toledo's goal of $40,000.
We're about 3,000 short of our goal. So, with teamwork, we can get there. So, $1, $3, $2,500, whatever you want to do, that is much appreciated.
Toledo's event takes place on Friday and Saturday, April 1st and 2nd at the main campus's Health Education Building. BGSU's event is also this weekend. If you'd like to help, visit the Feed My Starving Children's website. We have a link to that on our website, ut10news.com. It's no secret food insecurity is a problem here at home too.
And there's no doubt the pandemic made the problem even worse. I met up with some people working hard to be the solution. Cosetta McVeigh started her personal garden 4 years ago, and she grows herbs, fruits, and vegetables. She started growing her own food because
the cost of food is so much, and just it's healthier.
She donates much of what she grows to local organizations, and she gives some to her neighbors.
I have elderly neighbors, so I take them foods, I share with my family.
She even offers one-on-one gardening classes to teach people how to grow their own food. Grace Community Center has partnered with Central State University to teach people how to garden as well. They started the garden because of the prevalence of food deserts. Food deserts are areas that don't have many grocery stores or markets to provide people with fresh and healthy foods. You'll see a lot of corner stores that provide people with most of their food. You'll also see many fast food options that provide little to no healthy food.
We're dealing with a high poverty rate of probably about 40% of the residents in the zip codes that we serve.
The pandemic largely impacted poverty rates. Grace Community Center went from serving 250 households to over 2,500. They also expanded the areas they serve. They went from serving 4 zip codes to 17 as a result of the pandemic. Elaine Page, the executive director of Grace Community Center, not only wants to help improve the health of communities, but also rejuvenate them.
This is sort of a catalyst for neighborhood revitalization, and couple that with health, couple that with the ability to learn a skill set.
Both McVeigh and Page stress the importance of growing your own food. They say it's cheaper and, of course, free of pesticides. Gardening classes start April 4th at Grace Community Center. For more information, visit ut10news.com. Now let's take a look at news making headlines across America. Trent.
Thanks, Giara. The debate over districts continues as the Ohio Redistricting Commission is again being threatened with contempt of court charges. The Ohio Supreme Court gave the commission until Monday, April 4th, to explain why they should not be held in contempt for violating the court's orders to draw new, fair Ohio General Assembly district maps. The Associated Press reports earlier this week the commission tweaked unconstitutional versions of their own maps favoring Republicans instead of choosing new maps drawn by independent consultants. The map mayhem may impact when you can vote. The AP reports that the feds are asking Ohio election officials if the state's May 3rd primary should be delayed. Democrats want to delay the primary to give time to rewrite maps in a way that could be used this year as control of Congress hinges on just a few seats. Republicans want to keep the May 3rd date, but that would delay the election for some legislative districts whose lines are still undetermined. There's not much time left as early voting is supposed to begin on April 5th. Family members of 14-year-old Tyree Sampson are continuing to search for answers after the teen fell to his death on the drop tower ride at Florida's Icon Park. The family has now called for a legal team and the ride to be shut down permanently. Currently, the Sheriff's Office and the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services are investigating the incident with no criminal charges filed yet. March is Kidney Awareness Month, and an estimated 37 million people in the U.S. have chronic kidney disease.
And 9 in 10 affected people are not even aware. Those with diabetes or high blood pressure are at higher risk. UT10's Samantha Rojas is live in the newsroom. Samantha, how many people receive a kidney transplant each year?
Tiara, U.S. Health and Human Services says only about 20,000 kidney transplants are performed each year. The shortage of available kidneys continues to be a public health crisis, with more than 90,000 patients on the waiting list. Nearly 5,000 of them die without getting a transplant. One local mother didn't have to wait, thanks to her daughter. Lydia Marino was always close to her mother. Finding out the news about her mother shattered her. She knew she had to help in a life-saving way.
When she went to the doctor, when they explained, she had kidney failure and everything, and it's my mom, I felt bad for her.
Lydia felt hopeless and knew something had to be done to help her mother, Linda.
Yeah, I felt bad for her. I didn't want her to die, because she had both of her kidneys were bad. So one of them they took out, and then they left her with one, and the one she had, because you only need obviously one kidney to function, so the one she had wasn't any good, so that's why she had to get dialysis.
Which was filling up her schedule. Linda had to go to dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours a day, which was making her really weak.
I matched 2 or 3. So then they knew that it was okay, so I had to get further testing just to make sure I was healthy.
Lydia passed the test she needed to be a donor for her mother and was ready to start the process right away.
So I told my mom, you're going to do this, we need to do it now.
This is how Linda felt during this whole process.
I don't know, I was just really scared. I felt really bad because I didn't want to take a kidney from her.
11 years later, this is how Linda feels.
Oh, it's wonderful that I don't have to do dialysis anymore.
Today, 11 years later, Linda and Lydia are in Texas vacationing together for a week on the beach, enjoying each other's presence while both feeling good and being healthy. Live in the newsroom, Samantha Rojas, UT10 News.
Thank you, Samantha. It's important to note that kidney donors will go to the top of the waiting list if they do find themselves in need of a kidney. For more information, go to our website, ut10news.com.
Now we turn it over to Caleb with sports.
Caleb, it seems like basketball season might not be over yet.
That's right, because of Toledo's women's basketball team had the WNIT action earlier this week. I will have how the Rockets played and also some softball right after this break.
Let's say you're someone like Anthony. Smart, hardworking, up for a challenge. You check out big old anonymous State University. And you feel, well, like a number. Then you do a 180. You visit the tiny technical school in your neighborhood. But now you start thinking they may not have the majors, research, technology, and experiences that you're sort of expecting. And then you check out Toledo. You meet a professor, and she tells you about the clinical experience you'll get right here at the University of Toledo.
You now have more ways to watch the University of Toledo's award-winning student newscast.
Thanks to our broadcast partners, you can catch UT10 News
And sports in more places.
We're live at UT10news.com and on YouTube Thursdays at noon and 12:30.
Catch replays on Buckeye Channels 109 and 609 on Thursday evenings at 5 and 5:30 and Sundays at 9 a.m.
And on WGTE Public Media Friday evenings at 6:30.
This is your UT10 Sports Report. I'm Caleb Gill. UT10's women's basketball team continues to advance in the WNIT, but first, Rockets softball was back at Scott Park last weekend against the Buffalo Bulls. The Rockets opened the weekend of a 3-game series against Buffalo last Friday in a game that saw the home team struggle. Coming out the gates in the first inning, the Bulls' Alexis Lucian hit a 3-run homer, putting the away team up 3-0 early. Not long after, Olivia Kincannon was able to help Buffalo put 3 more on the scoreboard, extending the Bulls' lead 6-0 at the end of the first inning. Buffalo would score 5 more runs in the game before Toledo even got on the scoreboard, with Dana Denner hitting a 2-run RBI in the third, which would bring the score now 11-2. Buffalo hit 2 more runs in the fourth, which would be enough to put the 5-inning run rule into effect, with Buffalo beating Toledo by a final score of 13-3 in 5 innings. The two teams were supposed to play a doubleheader on Saturday, but those games were canceled due to weather. Toledo softball will travel down to I-75 this weekend to take on the Bowling Green Falcons. The women's Rockets basketball team won last Thursday in Marquette, allowing them to advance to the next round of the WNIT. Before you knew it, there were 8 teams left when the Rockets hosted the Tennessee State Blue Raiders this past Monday in the quarterfinals of the WNIT tournament. Quenisha Lockett put the Rockets on the scoreboard first, starting the game with back-to-back buckets. With this drive in the paint right there for Lockett. But then, the Blue Raiders went off, scoring 15 unanswered points, allowing the visitors to take a 20-13 lead in the second quarter. UT was able to regain momentum in the second, scoring 9 straight points. The remainder of the quarter would have both teams trading buckets. However, a jumper from Nan Garcia allowed the Rockets to take a 31-29 lead into the half. The entire second half will be hotly contested, with neither side really able to get much separation, with the largest lead for either team the 6-point lead in the Rockets' favor in the third quarter. In the final minute of regulation, Jada Jensen was able to get a steal that turned into a 3-point play that gave the Rockets a 61-60 lead with 50 seconds left. But Blue Raider Jalen Gregory knocked down 2 free throws, tying the game up at 62. Garcia had an opportunity to win it in the final seconds, but missed a layup, which would ultimately send the game into overtime. The first 90 seconds of overtime would have neither team really able to score, but MTSU's Kanisha Malashka broke the ice and scored the first points in OT. A big shot from beyond the arc from Sammy McConowitz helped to tie the game up at 69 apiece, with a little over a minute and a half left. Both teams would trade a few more scores in the final minute, and the Rockets had a chance to take one last shot. Garcia drove the paint for the layup, but again would miss the potential game-winning score. This time, though, it allowed Middle Tennessee to outlast the Rockets, an exciting game with a final score of 73-71, ending Toledo's season. The Rockets finished the year 29-6, tying the team record for wins in a season. They also won 19 MAC games, which was not just a school record, but was also a MAC record.
Thanks, Caleb. That's it for UT10 News.
Remember, you can catch newscast replays on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on social media and listen to 88.3 WXUT FM Saturday mornings at 7:45 for the UT10 Weekly News Update. We'll see you next week.